on folk dancing.
Oh.
How'd you do, Alright? See, you've met my faithful.
Oh. Oh.
So what'd you think?
I like it. And it's nice.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh, yes, I look.
I like the little craft.
Huh?
I like this.
It's a table.
Ooh.
Tabletop. Nice.
Guess who's going on their 6th infusion? It is my 6th infusion today, but I thought I would sit here once I'm on my infusion to talk about the newest mega set and how it's going to be released really soon, October 30th. So I absolutely cannot wait, and I will see you then.
Separate all the babysitter picking me up a lot. The anger, my mom would be finding it stopped. Priority list pretty much not doing anything with just remember walking right at and Jules, it's easy to make that decision when there's no scary. I was pretty sure I wasn't coming home ever. We were woken up. 3 men on the scene around 5 a.m. Couple men tried to flee the scene. Shots started being fired. We had one local national, a gunshot wound to the right side of his head, brain matter falling out. I did it for a reason. Still people. And they
In the desert, he's,
something. Not only Brad Sargent, but if not once, twice. He was. I didn't know without me. Still have no.
doesn't cope with trying.
All set up on my 6th infusion. The little tubey and the bag and the thing. It's a little harder to set up this time, but we got through it. They were playing a show in the back. If you hear a TV show, that's why. 6th infusion done, and now I'll talk about the mega set. Time to talk about the mega set. So essentially, the mega set is going to be the second 3-pack set released in Pokemon TCG Pocket. Pokemon TCG Pocket's 1-year anniversary is coming up October 30th, and that is coming up really soon. And the day that the mega set releases is October 30th. This mega set is obviously releasing Mega Pokemon into Pokemon Pocket, and there's just a lot of crazy things that is going on in Pokemon Pocket, essentially, including daily mission rewards that give you extra packs, and the deluxe pack EX that has EXs in every pack. That was such a big thing in Pokemon TCG Pocket. There's also been many complaints about this most recent set and about the UI and how they're not fixing things, but I don't really want to go into all of that. But as of currently, the Pokemon TCG Pocket set, I think Mega Rising it's called, is coming out really soon, and I absolutely cannot wait to do a pool recap with my wife soon. I cannot wait. It's going to be so exciting. The second is when another weekly vlog is coming out, the 2nd of November. So please know that this is all before November, so Yes. we do apologize that everything will be kind of off, but I'll have the date when this was filmed anyway, so I hope it won't be too confusing. But I absolutely cannot wait for the new mega set. It's just 4 days away. That's it. Here's the trailer. The trailer looks really awesome and great, and that is really about it. So thank you all for watching this clip, and I'll see you whenever I film again. Alrighty, everyone. So it has been an actual minute since we filmed, and we promised you a recap of the Mega Pokemon set, and here we are giving it to you. But we also have a quick story to tell you all before we actually get into the Mega set. It's a funny one. So the night of my infusion, I was on my infusion, and I was about like 2 hours in. And I want you to know that this infusion is primarily liquid. Like, there's no solids, like, within the infusion, so it is primarily liquid, and it adds my hydration. If you didn't see from last weekly vlog, we had a UTI. It was a week-long UTI, and I started drinking water, like 30 ounces of water a day, October 23rd. And I think by this point, it was October 26th, so it's like 3 days in, so my body was still adjusting to the amount of water I was still drinking. And so I was like, let me drink this 30 ounces of water because I need to be extremely hydrated before my infusion. However, that quickly turned into a problem. I was about halfway into my infusion, like 2 hours in, and until my AD, or autonomic dysreflexia, started to fire randomly. Well, that's weird. I typically never have that issue. I mean, yeah, when I have to go to the bathroom, my AD fires, but it was strong. So I was like, that's funny. That's really weird. Like, my autonomic dysreflexia was firing through the roof. I felt all hot and sweaty and, like, just ill. I mean, not nausea ill, just ill. Like, this is exactly how I felt on the UTI. And keep in mind, on the 26th, this was, like, the last day of the UTI. Like, it was finally clearing out. And as we said in the podcast we did a few days ago, it made a dramatic exit. So the UTI had went on for a week straight, and it was finally the day that it was going to, like, probably just flush out my system, try to get out all the bacteria. And before my infusion, I had drank 30 ounces of water, which is about the height of my chair. And then I drank one soda. So I drank about a 12-ounce soda and 30-ounce water bottle. That was like 44 or 42 ounces of soda and water, but most of it was water. And water, weirdly, strangely enough, tends to exit my body quicker than soda does, and I have no clue why. It just gives me a bigger reaction. I think about an hour in, I was like, oh yeah, like, I'm starting to feel a little bit of mild autonomic dysreflexia. But, like, I'm sure I can hold off for the next 3 hours. That was a dumb idea. Really dumb. And the reason you're thinking, wait, if you had to go, why did you not go? Well, I use intermittent catheters, so that means I don't have a bag in me 24/7 collecting the urine. I need to do an intermittent catheter, and it goes up the private area, and so every single 5 to 4 hours I do a catheter. And because I drank a lot more water, it was quicker. And I had about lasted the same amount of time I typically did, but it just felt way more stronger than my normal, if that makes sense. So it's like I can go 5 hours, and by the 5 to 4 hour mark, or 4 hour and a half mark, I typically feel a mild bout of AD, like, oh, I just have to go to the restroom. And, one thing is already eliminated from my autonomic dysreflexia. I don't get AD due to my stoma bag. Maybe if the adhesive is off or something's wrong, but I haven't had that in months. So that the number 2 option is already off the charts. So I was like, okay, like there's a reason for this high AD. Like, I was like worried that a tube might have been dislodged, but in my mind, I knew exactly what it was. I was like, oh God, like, I know this is number 1. I know I've been holding you off for far too long. I was about an hour and 45 minutes into the infusion, and I was like, okay, let me just at least make it, to 4 hours, and then I can finally relieve myself. Like, I thought I could make it. I was dead wrong. That last 15 to 20 minutes felt like hell on earth. I was sweating. I had mild stomach pain, not excruciating, but my AD was firing. It was a bad moment. And my wife is over here, like, also having this reaction because, again, me and my wife had the UTI and it was making a dramatic exit. She wasn't on an infusion or anything. She just drank a lot of water. But she does deal with bladder spasms and things, so it can make the urgency to go more frequently. Me and my wife, we were dying, and like every minute felt like absolute hell on earth. And there was like at that 2-hour mark at 9:06 p.m. I was like, oh my god, like I was dying. I felt awful. I had sweat beating down my head. I didn't feel well. So Cindy, the available, gracious human, was right near my bedroom, that has my boxes of catheters, several of them. I'm laying on that infusion. My husband can't get over there because he's afraid that he's going to mess up the tubing. I said to her, like, oh my god, can you please cath me? Like, but don't mess up any of my infusion tubes. I was desperate. I was like, if you can catheterize me without messing anything up, that would be a gracious dream. I was desperate at that point, literally desperate. She thankfully did it, and that was the most relieving catheter of my life. Here's the time it took. Undeniably, that was the longest catheterization of my life in a while, in a long, long time. Sydney did not mess up any of my infusion tubes by doing a catheter on me, which is really impressive. I was like, please tell me you didn't mess up any of the infusions. I said, no, like one moved, but it wasn't the most important one. But it was something I never expected to happen during my infusion, because I've had about 6 of these so far, and I've never had that type of emergency. Yeah, I never expected that to happen, and it was super unexpected that it did happen. But I do know the reason why. Like, I drank too much and forgot to go to the bathroom before because my AD didn't warn me. It was October 26th. That was just when the whole mess of the infusion and the water hit me all at once, and my wife at once. So we needed to do an emergency catheter right there. I was so scared that I was going to pee myself, which has not happened in years. And now on to the megas. So the mega set expansion, Mega Rising, came out October 30th. I had the biggest hourglasses ever. 823 hourglasses was my biggest pack opening ever. 823 divided by 12 gives you 64.
It says here you're fast with math. Extremely. That's impressive. What's 31 times 17? 47. It's not even close, but it was fast.
So this was going to be the biggest pack opening of my life, so I was really, really, really excited, and I'm grateful to say that it went really well. Out of my first free pack, I got a Makuta 1-star, and that was a great sign, because it's like, okay, we're starting out the opening with something pretty good, like a 1-star. It's going to hopefully give us more luck. And then another free pack, and got this cool Honcha Crow 1-star. I love the colors on that thing. Honestly, if it was actually a real card in actual Pokemon cards wise, I think it'd be worth some money. Because it looks really good. And then, on our first 10 pull of Blaziken packs, we end up getting the freaking Immersive on the first 10 pull. The Blaziken Immersive. I'm like, what in the world? That is just the first 10 pull. You gotta be absolutely insane. And then in the Gyarados packs, about 20 packs deep at this point, I get a Lycanroc 2-star shiny, which was really unexpected for me, honestly. I wasn't expecting a Lycanroc out of all shinies I would pull, honestly, but it looked pretty cool. In the Altaria packs, we ended up getting a Tauros 2-star, which was really exciting. The same 10 pull, or a next 10 pull, I got an Ampharos 2-star Rainbow. Finally, 385 packs since my last rainbow. I got a damn rainbow. Hooray! And then another 10 pull went by. That one wasn't as lucky. I think we only got a few 1-stars, but again, we're going to be showing a recap video of every single pull we got, so if we do miss anything, you can see it after. And then Altaria goes at it again. It gave me another Tauros. Not the best type. Tauros again. No! Then I opened a few singles because I had enough hourglasses, and from another Altaria, I get a Patina 2-star. What is going on with my 2-stars? Then the development team gave us 3 free packs of Mega Rising. I was on a Gyarados pack. I got a freaking Rainbow Absol from that. For free! I didn't spend a single hourglass on that and got that. Here is the bottom of my hits as of currently. Unfortunately, I haven't got anything in 5 or 6 days, but that doesn't mean I've got nothing. There was a Wonder Pick. It was a Greninja 4. And I ended up getting it. And I will not bore you with anything else, besides the fact that we did get a new ice machine. Here it goes. This is our second batch. I don't know why we're so ecstatic about an ice making machine, but we are. That is our Mega Rising hits, including other things that we wanted to talk about, including a little story. So thank you all for watching. And